Hi there. If you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering how you, just like me, can get to 30,000 plus followers on Instagram. And I thought it'd be kind of a fun thing to share my journey on how I achieved that. I think, I know if you go on YouTube or sort of other social media channels, you can find a ton of, videos on how I achieved a huge number of subscribers or followers, or, I got monetized quickly. Here's how. And, for myself, hard work was really sort of the key factor, and dedication. You really have to want to do this, and you really have to stick with it, and you need to be consistent. So, a couple of things that I think are worth sharing is that, initially, that sort of first like 0 to 5,000 followers on Instagram, that wasn't too hard. I feel like most people sort of achieve that with time. The 5 to 10,000 followers was where it became very difficult, and that really felt like a bit of a grind. What got me through it though is that what I was talking about, and the channel, or rather the page, was something I was really passionate about. So, and I feel like that's the key. If the thing that you are putting out there, whether it's like, pictures of the toys you're collecting, or, reels, or the unboxing reels, or whatever it is you're doing, if it's something that you're excited about and you believe in, then, that helps get you through sort of the challenge of the time that it'll take to build the following. From 5 to 10,000 followers is a very important number in the world, I think, of especially Instagram. I noticed that as soon as I hit 10,000, that was where, when I reached out to brands, or brands reached out to me, you're suddenly taken a little more seriously. Like, and I feel like it's almost like a reciprocal thing, where it's like, okay, you're obviously making the effort, so you're a safe bet to send some product to showcase. And also, I feel like that's sort of a sweet spot where, if you're saying something is cool and you've got 10,000 followers, it's a very believable thing, and I'm lucky to obviously be in a spot where, so far at least, I've only had the opportunity to work with different brands where I think their stuff is awesome, and so that makes it a lot easier to promote whatever it is that they're putting forward. But yeah, so going from that 5 to 10 is really difficult, but once you hit 10, that's so important. From 10 onwards, from 10,000 followers onwards, I think to get to 20 wasn't too hard. It sort of, became sort of a runaway train. From 20 to 30, it's been fairly difficult. I'm not sure how it's going to be now going from 30 to 40 in the future, but we'll see how that goes. Again, I feel like this is all about the passion and the interest that you have in whatever it is that you are promoting or sharing. My goal when I initially created the page was just to share, some of my collection, and hopefully connect with other people that might find some of that interesting. As it started to grow, I made sort of a bigger goal. I'm really lucky. I'm someone that's worked in the animation industry for almost 30 years now, and within that time, I've met so many incredible designers and illustrators and animators and artists of all sort of different medium. And I thought, well, geez, I know so many talented people that are incredible at what they do and might not be getting the attention that they should be getting in their own social media platforms. So I thought, well, geez, if I can start to build something just with my own platform and my own following around what I love, collecting toys and showing off toys, then maybe that's something where then I can help promote them as well to help lift them up, because I mean it's all sort of about building community. And of course, also, I feel like within the animation industry and toy collecting, there's a lot of overlap, and so many of the artists I know are toy collectors just like myself, and even more at different extreme levels than me. So they've got great collections of their own. Some of the reels I think I've done that have had the best result were ones where I was just showcasing other collectors and artists, and sort of talking about what they are doing or what they're collecting, rather than actually just focusing on a specific product. I started out by just posting photos, and that's obviously the easiest thing you can do on Instagram. I'm not a great photographer by any means, but you take a bunch of photos, and maybe one's sort of a little more interesting than another, and you put that out there. I moved on to doing unboxing videos, and I had so many things that I've collected and never really opened up, and so that was that's something that's a never-ending journey for me. I feel like I've got a ton of stuff that I could keep going in that way with. But then to really sort of level myself up, once I was at around I think I got to about 6,000 or 7,000 followers. That's when I started doing giveaways, and that helped a lot. And giveaways are such a fun thing to do, and since then, I feel like the giveaways have leveled up, just because brands have reached out and said, "Oh, would you, specifically give away one of our cool products?" And that actually takes a lot of pressure off you as like a content creator, because they'll often take care of all the shipping and everything. So, you don't have to, and it's getting harder and harder to ship things around the world, especially with tariffs and duty and, huge shipping costs. So if there's someone already, a brand in a country that can share that thing, that helps a lot. But yeah, giveaways were a huge factor. They're amazing, right? Super powerful thing. You don't necessarily get people that are going to follow you long term. However, if you continue doing giveaways, they probably will. But so you do start getting people from outside your specific community of collectors. I think the best part, though, of giveaways is just making people feel great. The number of times I've announced a winner, and then you get a message from someone who's saying, geez, I was having the worst day ever, and I can't believe this. Or you get people that are totally doubtful that this is even real. And then, you almost wish you could be there when the thing arrives at their door, so they can go, oh my gosh, just by, liking and following and tagging a friend or whatever you asked them to do, they got a free thing that they, weren't expecting. So that's, that I can't even imagine, sort of the surprise there. For people. Anyways, that's all that just, it makes you feel great. And on one more, I've had people that have messaged saying that they're in really bad shape, and things aren't going good. And that basically that giveaway that, they won sort of gave them a little bit more hope that day, and just real heartbreaking, but also I mean, if this what I'm doing with toy collecting and reviews and giveaways can contribute to making anyone's day even just a tiny bit brighter, that's a huge win. And then with Instagram, I'm a Canadian in Canada. there's not really a lot of ways that you can make money off Instagram. I'm certainly not making money off Instagram at all. I don't make a dime. If anything, I probably spent a ton of money, in putting together videos and reels and stuff. But you do get free stuff, and that was also a driving factor for me in starting my page. Was I thought, wouldn't it be cool if, I love toys, I love toy collecting. Wouldn't it be cool if brands in some way actually started to figure out who I am and then wanted to send me stuff for free, things that I was probably going to buy and spend money on anyways. But you get you get something for free, and that's always a fun thing too. And I've certainly received a lot of really sort of interesting things that maybe I wouldn't have bought, but also a ton of stuff that I definitely would have, and I'm so appreciative of that. I'm also really lucky to have had great brands reach out and want to connect with me. That's again, it's a huge factor in making it easy to, want to help promote someone's product. Cause I'm certainly someone that can't promote something if I don't believe in it. And so I'm lucky. I've been working with different, brands that I do really highly believe in. Yeah. So hopefully, this ramble was helpful to some of my followers or now subscribers. I'm just starting to make the move to YouTube or branch out to YouTube. And, I'm a long way away from ever being monetized, but maybe that's sort of a future goal that I have now, with collecting. And, I hope that, some of the things that I've learned from the experience of going from 0 to 30 on Instagram are things that can, help you out if you're, hoping to get to that same sort of place. What I would encourage you to do, if you're at all interested in any specific, details of anything, please message me, leave a comment below, subscribe to this channel if you'd like to do that, or if you'd like to learn more. Anyways, thank you to all my current followers and subscribers. I certainly wouldn't have got this far without you hitting the subscribe or follow button. So thank you so much. All right, that's it for now. Thanks.